We'll keep building till you come around. It's the Entertournament of Champions podcast. That was late in career, 2003 Limp Bizkit for everybody.
Wow. Wow.
When everybody tuned out by then.
Deep into the catalog.
Yeah. If this is not splitting our audience by now, today was the day. Today was the day.
Okay, guys, I am Jeff over here. I'm telling JD and Kyle, who are with me, because they forgot my name for a second.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not explaining anything to our audience. So JD, say hi.
Hi.
And Kyle, say cello.
Cello.
I can't believe you actually said it. That was fucking stupid.
We are your minions.
So what we did last week is we ranked our top 10. We gave our rankings for the top 10 movie chases to ever occur in history in the spirit of Baby Driver, which is still, I'm pretty sure, even after I saw it, I'm still pretty sure it's a documentary about a baby that drives.
Yeah.
Even after seeing it, I'm like, there was an end credit scene. And then he looked in the mirror and he was an actual baby, right? So this is we basically combined our 3 top 10 lists to make a top 16 list, and I think all of our movies ended up getting represented one way or another. I'm pretty sure they did.
I think so.
Yeah.
I wrote them down somewhere. I'm just too lazy to look it up. But so that's what we're gonna do on this episode. We are going to do a tournament episode, if you will. All of these compile and consist of a top 16. And we're just going to go like match by match. This is for everybody that's listening for the first time. Not for me, I promise. If it was up to me, I'd never explain this again in my life.
You have to treat it like it's somebody's first episode every time.
You kind of do. When it's like up in the 50s, I'll be like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it like match by match, and we're going to do like take turns going, so it's and kind of switch every round, so it's kind of fair. And, it's majority rules. We've done this before on There Is No Podcast, if you listen to that. And it was just Kyle and I, and it was fucking miserable. So, miserable. But it was such a good idea that we had to, keep going with it with a third person. And JD was kind of around, so.
Yeah, I'm available.
You're all right.
And I know stuff and things, so it's logical.
Those are literally the requirements, so.
Just, so JD, do you know stuff and things? I'm like, yeah, bro. And you're
nailed
like,
that.
Great.
That was it.
Perfect. That's
done.
That's exactly who we were looking for. Somebody that might know some stuff and some things.
Yeah.
So the first
doesn't take up too much room on the billing with the short name. It's perfect.
Okay.
The first matchup that we have, the last time I went first, so I'll be going. Since I was first, I'm last on this matchup. I have to try and quote Talladega Nights every chance I get, basically. Just that one dumb line. And then after this, we'll go eat crepes. It's
Crepes.
Are those the things that like taste like pancakes? Yeah, let's go get. Either way, this turns down. Can we can we just go get some after this? First matchup is the number 16 seed versus number 1 seed. It's kind of March Madness style for those that are like, how did they come up with this? So the 16 seed is Italian Job. The 2003 one, I assume we all didn't see the older one. And the number 1 seed, number 16 is probably like just basically fodder for this movie. It's Mad Max Fury Road, which was all of our number 1s. So there's a front runner, everybody, but we're going to try and be objective here. We're going to try. So the first person to go in this round is Kyle.
Oh,
you went second last time, so
that's fine. It's fine by me. Real easy for me. I have like no connection to the Italian Job.
What? No, I'm kidding.
No, not really. No, never even seen it. I watched the the chase scene or whatever, like literally as we were like loading up this episode. It was good. It was fine. Not Mad Max good, but it was great. But Mad Max wins by a fucking landslide, like by a like by big time. What a great movie that I'm not going to say anything more about because we have a whole episode to try and defend it. So.
Right, yeah. If we have to, yes. Next up, I'm last in this round, so JD, you're next.
Oh, cool. Well, you're going to hear me fight really hard for the Italian Job. It's going to be Mad Max for me, actually. That's as hard as I'm willing to fight for the Italian Job. Dude, you're talking about it's a great movie and all, but Mad Max, the entire thing is a car chase essentially. Yeah. So you got to put that one through just on the merit of the amount of time that it spends on the subject matter. So,
Right.
Italian Job's fun, but yeah, Mad Max for the win.
You know what? It's kind of upsetting. I would have gone Italian Job. So I'm just a big Ed Norton fan, and I love Marky Mark.
Especially that stash.
You got a Mini Cooper. Me too. So, yeah, Fury Road all the way for me as well. It
Cool.
would have been unanimous for sure. There's not a whole lot more to be said when comparing these two, and especially in an early round. So we're just going to move to the next one, which is much more. This is much more challenging.
This is much more contentious.
Exactly. So we have our number 9 seed T2, which is not Trainspotting 2. It's Judgment Day, Terminator 2,
But
versus
that chase scene in Trainspotting 2, though, was really something else. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. I legitimately almost forgot it existed at all.
I don't think it did. I don't know. I didn't see the movie.
It doesn't
so.
exist at all. It's really good. It's a really good movie. It's about chasing your younger self, man. So number 8.
It has
seed,
no right to be good either. So that's really surprising to hear.
I know, right? There's a lot of stuff that really resonated with me in T2 Trainspotting because it just touched on growing up a lot. And
Nice.
how he pontificated a lot in Trainspotting, the first one. That whole choose this, choose that, and how it meant fucking nothing by the time he was like past 35.
Yeah.
So it just resonated big time with me. Anyway, Terminator 2 fights another sequel, a very, very commendable sequel, amazing sequel, action sequel. It's number 8 seed Bourne Supremacy. So this matchup sucks.
Yeah.
I'm actually going first in this one.
Sweet.
And I'm gonna go. I mean, Bourne Supremacy is awesome. I've had my, I don't want to call them gripes. I justified why I like Bourne Identity's Chase more than this one in the last episode. Which
Identity
we'll
ended
get
up
to.
making in this? Okay, good.
Yeah, we'll get to that one. That's in a later seed. So that's. I mean, it's still a very commendable chase, and the fact that Paul Greengrass was probably in the back seat during the whole fucking thing, that's it's just absolutely crazy to me. I don't know if he was or not. I didn't look it up, but it seems like, I mean, how else did you get that type of feeling, that little claustrophobic type of erratic feeling with the camera? I don't know how else he did it. But Terminator 2, I rewatched it again, and just all of this nostalgia came back to me, and on top of the fact that it was just unlike anything we'd seen at the time, I have to give it to Terminator 2 because, dude jumped. It was a motorcycle versus like a tow truck, and even now we don't see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So it's batshit crazy to me. and when the roof caves, like falls off under the bridge, and I mean he's fucking unrelenting. T-1000. We've talked about him before. He went very far in the movie villains episode, and even when he would just like try to shove this truck through anything to get to freaking the best actor ever, Edward Furlong. I can't remember, John Connor. But yeah, great fucking chase. I'm glad Kyle put it in his list, so it made it here, and I was forced to rewatch it and be like, that is a really, really great chase. So yeah, that's who I'm voting for. So Kyle, you're next.
Wow, this is really hard for me because I'm sitting here going, oh, this is really easy, and I think I'm already switching my mind by the time I'm done with this sentence. I'm going to probably have to go Bourne Supremacy for a lot of reasons. I just want to see what JD has to say. That's a big part of it.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I think it's great, and I kind of want to see Bourne versus Bourne if that could ever happen in this bracket.
Yeah, okay.
But I think it's a really good chase scene, and I really like the Terminator 2 chase scene as well. But man, the chaotic nature of everything that's going on once they enter that tunnel for Bourne Supremacy is just really something else. So I'm gonna go.
It's still a great chase scene for sure.
It really is, yeah. So I'm gonna go Supremacy, and let's see what JD has to say.
JD.
Great. God damn, all the pressure. All right, well, I had Bourne Supremacy on my list. T2, I think, was my, like, if I could have had an 11th pick, that would have been
Probably
my 11th pick. Son of a bitch. I mean, I'll agree with you, Jeff. The nostalgia definitely plays a big factor because that was probably the first time as a kid I ever watched anything quite like that. But I mean, I do agree. The supremacy, and why I put it, the supremacy. the baby driver got born. No. God damn it. Man, I'm really tempted to go Judgment Day on this one because it was pretty much all practical, I think, except for maybe the explosion at the end. Maybe had a little bit of CG. Maybe with the metal guy walking out of a little bit of CG.
That was absolutely.
Yeah, but the overall, I mean, the feel of it, except for that terrible stunt double for Arnold jumping off the side. I mean, other than that, it's pretty much flawless for me. I'll agree that like technically the supremacy is really shaky and disorienting, and if you've got like visual issues, you probably shouldn't watch that movie without popping like a Dramamine or something.
Right.
That can make you feel bad.
Yeah. It's fine at home.
And I think I'm going to go Judgment Day, man. I think I'm going to go against my own pick.
Wow.
Because I mean, honestly, if it was going to work out where Bourne and Bourne were against each other, it'd be in the finals, and that's not going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
So true, right?
Opposite ends of the bar.
I'm going to go Judgment Day.
I think you bring up a really good point. Like that may have been the very first like true like amazing chase scene I've ever seen. That or Blues Brothers, which we might talk about later.
Yes.
But it's just like, oh wow, like that was the first thing I've ever seen of that, and maybe it cemented this love for chase scenes. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
The stakes are really high because it's pretty early on in the movie, so you're still really not sure. I mean, you're pretty sure that Arnold's a good guy.
When Terminator was revealed to be a good guy, yeah, he comes. Right. This was right after the mall. Yeah.
So you're talking like the first 10 minutes. All the other ones, their tension relies on a lot of story having been developed. So for this one to be as impactful early on, I think it says something.
Oh man,
I think that's
by the time that movie starts, there's dead parents, a chase scene. It's a loaded beginning.
Shotguns,
a naked Arnie. Yeah, it's really crazy.
That's a good point that it's like so early on that it totally got people into the rest of the movie. Like that's a hook if I ever saw one.
It is a hook.
Baby Driver has a few of those too. We'll talk about that soon.
Maybe.
We'll talk about that.
Didn't make the bracket, obviously.
We didn't see it when we made our rankings and stuff. But we have now. We can say that. That's for sure. So Terminator 2 moving on. That's going to be an interesting matchup in the next round. Even if there's a front runner, it's fine. It's still going to be a good matchup. The number 13 seed is in our next match, and it's Death Proof versus a number 4 seed. Ooh, the Legacy of Bullet. Man. That chase scene is so good. Shit.
I just saw that Bullet thing just 5 minutes ago before we started this episode.
Oh, nice. I'm so glad you caught it, dude. It's so good.
Whoa. 1968?
Exactly. And it's kind of cool that these two are facing each other because they're kindred spirits. Obviously, Tarantino was inspired by those types of chase scenes and scenes that came after it. But Bullet was like the originator, man. JD's first in this one.
Oh, cool. Well, I just watched Death Proof. I don't think I've seen. That's part of Grindhouse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the second part. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that all the way through. So that was a surprise for me watching that and how intense it was. I know I mentioned it to you. How the hell did she stay on the freaking hood of that car for so long?
Fucking crazy stunt lady. Yeah.
That's insane. And then when she flips around, I'm just like, oh shit, she's gonna fall off. But then the other car stops really doing the hard hitting and stuff, so she doesn't really go flying. But that's okay. Yeah. Man, I mean, from an intensity standpoint, I'd say Death Proof probably takes it because I mean, I think there's a lot more at stake in that one. But I mean, I want to put Bullet through just because we probably wouldn't be doing this bracket without that movie. So I've got to at least give it a little bit of love. And I mean, the car it's a little bit sexier. I like the car in Bullet a little bit better. So.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh my god, good point.
Oh, wow.
Discount that. It's one of the best cars ever.
Cars matter.
We need to start bringing that up. That matters. Yeah.
No, for sure, absolutely.
Especially when we're talking like, oh man, when we're nitpicking the shit out of these eventually. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be talking about that for sure.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Variation, cars, absolutely. Transitions, all that stuff. All of it. We're gonna be talking about all of it.
None of them, their inspection sticker was in date, so that one, that guy takes care of his shit. So
that one's past inspection, so I don't know if I'm comfortable.
All of Mad Max is disqualified because they're way past inspection. So
yes.
Shit.
Yes.
So I'm next on this one. And I apologize that Kyle really won't get a say in this one, but I'm going to go with Bullet too. This is something I saw recently because it popped up on everybody's list of best chases ever. whenever I was doing research for this. So I watched the entire movie for context and stuff, which is great. It's a good movie. It's actually it's really good. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that chase though is like from beginning to end. Even when you get the build up to it, I mean, there's absolutely build up, and it's awesome. Like he leaves his apartment, he notices he's being tailed. I explained this last time, but he notices he's being tailed, and he turns the table on them very, very slowly. He finds a way to get behind them. And then it suddenly just kind of just fucking implodes, you know what I mean? And they just start peeling out. There's a lot of peeling out in this chase.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, completely 100% practical because I had no choice, you know what I mean? Like, at that time, it's like, we're going to fucking blow up a big gas station at the end. Okay, well, let's do it for real. You know, it's a big-ass explosion at the end, which is, it kind of makes sense. It's a good punctuation. I think it was like the first chase scene to kind of do that, which is where all of the chase scenes after the fact, like ending in explosions, came from, I assume. Yeah, I just love the camera techniques in this one, where it's like steady shots over the shoulders of, kind of like, you know, in a racing game, over the shoulders of the driver, and it just looks so good, and it still holds up big time. Death Proof is so good. Jaw-dropping shit from Zoe Bell on the roof of that car. That was unbelievable, and she's just hanging on by like a thread. Literally. Like,
Ted Mosby would be proud she had her driving gloves on.
Right. Absolutely. She did. Yep. Baby would be proud as well.
Yeah.
Baby.
Oh yeah.
He didn't want those. I'm sorry, Kevin.
He was given the gloves, but he threw them away, you know, as a point of protest.
Right. Yeah. And we're not really spoiling anything because that wasn't the end of the movie. So
you ruined the gloves, guys.
The end of the movie was everybody dies. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Bullet moves on, but Kyle, how would you have voted in this one?
After just watching, I love Death Proof. Like, love the chase scene, love that thing, everything that y'all just said. But Bullet, I've just watched it. It may just be like first time sees or whatever, but also just how intricate that chase scene is for like when they did it. Is so amazing. I would have chosen that just because it may be the father of all chase scenes. You know?
It's true.
It may
certainly
be
the grandfather.
Hopefully the grandfather.
Great grandfather.
You are not the great grandfather.
It's old as shit now in movie years.
Yeah.
So Bullet moves on, which is great. It might have long legs, who knows, or long wheels. That doesn't work. So the next matchup is our number 12 seed, Fast 5, because one of the things we know is it's not how you stand by your car, it's how you race your car. You better learn that. With vaults. With vaults this time. With a bank vault. Versus the number 5 seed, Blues Brothers, another kind of, I don't want to say transformative, but it's a big-ass chase scene. And these are both big in scope. Both of these.
I agree.
So it's a good matchup, even from different eras. So this matchup, Kyle starts first on this one.
Oh man, that's just really not that hard for me. I like Fast 5 a lot. I was there with you in my top 10. I had it there. I was repping it.
Awesome.
Blues Brothers is just so great, and the way that it ends, as we talked about the previous episode, is just amazing. How they're just like, you know, we're just gonna throw every fucking cop car we could get our hands on in the Tri-County area. This whole scene, crash them into each other, and they had to really do it. No CG. This is not an Agent Smith scene, you know, where it's just like me too, and they CG him over and over again. They really fucking did this. It was really awesome, and you know, I agree. It's up there with you know, like Bullet and your other movies that are like pre-90s that like really just kind of set the tone for
people regard French Connection in that way too. So
I
mean, we might be a little lukewarm. I mean, at least JD and I were kind of talking about it, but in that sense, but yeah, I mean, it's up there. It's up there with. I'm
gonna have some real nice things to say about that because I just watched that one too before this episode.
Oh, good.
So,
oh, cool. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going one of against our favorites of all time.
No, unfortunately, yeah, but I'll have a good send off, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe one of y'all are like a turncloak. I don't know.
Fuck that chase. We should have put fucking Bad Boys 1 in here, or The Rock even. All right, because you can't get enough Michael Bay in these tournaments.
Yeah.
So JD, you're next on this one.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna side with Kyle on this one, man. I mean, watching Fast 5 was cool. I stopped watching that franchise, I think, after the second movie. So watching it, I appreciated it as a scene. It was very funny. Good time to
stop. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, yeah. But no, man, I mean, Fast 5 may be about family, but Blues Brothers, that family Totally.
They're legitimately family. It's
They're legit family.
Yeah.
Great.
And I mean, come on, man. The fucking deadpan look on both of their faces during the whole thing, and then the pile up, like you mentioned. I mean, that's my style of humor all the way. So I've got to push that one through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. That's awesome. I love this. Fuck. I guess I'm losing battles because I would have gone Fast Five. Just like I would have gone Italian Job on the first one. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Yeah, Blues Brothers did all that shit for real. Of course, they're not swinging around a bank vault for real in Fast Five.
yeah.
So it gets brownie points for that. And the cars were all just, old. They're not Crown Vics, but you know what I mean. They're like older cop cars and stuff. Just casual cars that anybody would buy or
nothing flashy.
drive.
Nothing flashy.
Exactly, but I love that about it. Fast Five, I love the car choices. Of course, the movies always know how to do that. And I love how fucking bananas it was. It had no right to be that ridiculous at all, but none of the movies do.
Right.
I think it kind of jumped the shark in terms of action sequences when it did the plane thing on the endless runway in the Fast 6 or whatever.
Sure.
But Fast 5 was still like in the realm of
They
possibility.
literally stole that from Uncharted 3 too, just by the way.
Oh my god, really?
Just took it completely from that game.
I really have to play it. Well, pretty much all three of them. I played 4 and got blown away, I think sufficiently, but still, the first 3 demand to be played. Anyway, Blues Brothers is going forward. That's where I would have voted too, even though I love Fast 5, at least the chase scene, and I don't love all like the fucking weird masculinity. Like it feels like I don't know. Those action movies are just weird to me. Tonally, the Fast movies are just weird.
Yeah, no,
look at this girl's butt close up. It's just like, come on, man.
It doesn't need defending. I think you nailed it.
Okay, good. I know
there's a little bit of like a
news.
creepy factor when you're watching it.
They're in the news right now because Michelle Rodriguez, after 6 movies, is getting fed up with the way female characters are written.
Hey, wait a minute!
Yeah.
Wait a minute, my character wasn't the lead in this one.
Yeah.
I think that's all she means because Charlize Theron was like in a ton of Fast 8. She was in a lot of that movie. I mean,
second bill easily.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I mean, it was like Vin Diesel and Charlize Theron. She was in the movie
seriously.
a ton.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think she just wants more screen time, honestly.
And she was cool too. Charlize Theron was cool. She hammed it up, but it was great. It was good.
Yeah, she was having fun up there. And you know what?
She was having a great time.
If she means stop with the gratuitous ass shots, I get it. Like I get that. That's annoying to me too.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's what you mean.
aren't we past this?
Yeah,
no, we're
I'm not 12 anymore.
Well, but like the audience is though. So
yeah,
I
that's
guess
true.
It's trying to cast that big net out,
That's true. They're trying to attract the young boys, the young confused boys that don't know what's happening down there yet. Like I was when I was 16, or maybe young. I was definitely younger. Never mind, I wasn't 16. I was younger. I definitely knew what was happening at 16, guys. Let's be quiet about that. All right, so
that's not what you said.
Next matchup is number 15 seed, the French Connection. I'm not going to finish the word. So versus a number 2 seed, Matrix Reloaded. Fuck, that's like one of. All right, I'm pretty sure JD's on board too, with it being a personal all-time favorite.
Yes.
Shit. People are gonna be so mad because, especially first off, because of the placement.
What do you mean it got knocked out first round? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was on one list and it was number 10. So
right. Well, it's funny too because I remember
surprised.
on Movie Fight, Screen Junkies does a debate show every week called Movie Fights, and they had CinemaSins on. Which is like YouTubeception basically, but they had CinemaSins on and they debated best movie car chase, and these were the 2 selections.
Really?
Yeah, no joke. And Matrix Reloaded won. So yeah.
How long of an episode did they milk out of that?
That was one question of like 8 or 9. You know what I mean? Like
that's why we're a better show. We talk about 16 different car chases, not just 2.
Well, it's 15.
Go tell your mom, everybody, about this show.
Yeah, your mom will love it.
Have your mom tell their moms about it.
All the fucks and shits and dick jokes. She's gonna love it. So
maybe there are moms out there.
I'm first on this one. We're gonna change the name to Momcast, and just gonna be the same premise and same dudes. Has nothing to do with mothers. We just want a new audience. Oh boy. Anyway, so I'm first on this one, and Matrix Reloaded totally moves forward. It's kind of like a no contest for me. I mean, I respect the legacy that French Connection carved out, even though Bullet was first. But French Connection still had a lot going for it at the time. Like it was insanely well choreographed. Obviously, how they did that through the street, and I think JD, was it you that mentioned that they didn't really have like a permit for that?
Oh yeah, they did not.
They just
clear
kind of
that
did it
with the city at all. They just
said,
did it.
"Fuck it."
It's amazing.
That's why he's honking his horn so rigorously.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like for real.
Yeah, because nobody knows what's happening around him.
And then the guy that hits him in the actual scene, that was like real. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
All of it's real. Then he actually shot a dude after that. Gene Hackman, method actor, man. I'm telling you.
Seriously.
So I mean, yeah, it's like 10 minutes of him honking the horn through the streets and following a train that doesn't necessarily have a road near it. You know what I mean? It's I mean, there's a lot to it in terms of context. Like the entire movie's great. I love the movie. Matrix Reloaded, though, I mean, they built a highway for their goddamn chase scene.
That point is going to be made 100 times this episode,
No.
and I'm going to make 99 of them. So.
It's like the argument that people made about Boyhood being good. It took 12 years to make.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same petty fucking argument, but it's going to be made. So,
Matrix Reloaded for me. So next up is Kyle.
it's definitely Matrix Reloaded. But let me tell you something. I just watched this and I had the most craziest epiphany. I have played this movie in several video games.
Oh yeah.
That chase scene when you're chasing.
Oh yeah.
The
I remember GTA 4. I think.
GTA 4, GTA, all of them.
Yeah, even the third
anyone
one. Yeah.
that takes place in Liberty City, and yes, and they do have it in San Andreas, the third one as well. Yeah, in Liberty City, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it in Driver also. So many games does that. So like right as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this already feels like at home. Like I like this already. And it's fine. I mean, it is a lot of Gene Hackman like honking and weaving and stuff like that. But I guess it was really inspiring to a lot of different things because it inspired a lot of video games and things that you're actually controlling and doing, which are maybe funner than an actual chase sequence. But it was good. I liked it. It made me feel warm inside. But it's fucking Matrix, dude. What an intricate chase sequence that transitions so many times. They're in cars. They're in bikes. They're on the top of an 18-wheeler. They're running on the ground. It's just there's so much to it, you know. So yeah, it's definitely Matrix for me.
Awesome. Love it. JD, where would you have voted?
Oh man, I hate the Matrix. It's awful. So French Connection
shit.
all the way. Yeah, I'm a big fan of French everything. So
you know,
yeah.
I'm glad it's getting knocked out.
yeah, no,
French people. It's like not a French movie at all.
Absolutely the Matrix, though, man. Come on, that's
Yeah.
no comparison.
I'm with you on that, and it moves forward. I'm just kidding. It doesn't move forward. I make the rules. So I don't know what the fuck.
I'm writing
We're
down
holding
French
it back.
Connection. I'm hijacking the show.
Hijacking the show. So we have the number 10 seed in the next matchup, Dark Knight versus You're Gonna Love Me versus Bad Boys 2.
Ooh.
Number 7 seed. We ranked it higher, I think, because it was in a top 10. I think it was a little higher. Was it in Kyle's, I think?
Yeah, Kyle had it at number 4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I agree that it was a really good ambitious. Like there were
For sure.
good ambitious chases in there.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad we only let one Michael Bay movie get into this, and glad no one got too mad.
If we put one more, our integrity's in question. Honestly,
it is. It really, even though he did some good ones, he did some, but we can't give him too much of a bone. He, we see what he does whenever he gets a little attaboy,
Yeah, right. Yep. So in this one, JD is first.
Oh, cool.
Oh my god.
Man, I mean.
Oh, JD, you're here.
Yeah. Hi, guys. How are y'all?
I don't know why.
Man, as much as I love Bad Boys 2, and I like the first one too, enough. I mean, Dark Knights is, even though it's not a traditional chase scene in the sense, I'm inclined to. I mean, I had it on my list as well, but I'm inclined to go with more what you were saying in the last episode, that it's just a fucking thrill to watch. And the stakes of what that chase means to the story and how it ends up, I think that's probably going to be enough to push it through for me. And I mean, dude, you get to see a freaking 18-wheeler just upended because of a bike cable. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was man. I love
Seriously, that was super cool. And you know, all the moments in the tunnel, you know, you can see some elements of some of the other chases we're talking about here in Dark Knight. Bad Boys 2, you know, yeah, the quips, the humor's there. But you know, it feels just a little bit less to me than Dark Knight. So I'm gonna go Dark Knight.
All right, that's fair to me, I guess. I'm trying not to reveal my hand, even though I'm next. So, even though I'm next, I don't know how I'm gonna go on this, but it might be bad. No, it's Dark Knight. I can't even pretend.
Might be bad man. Yeah.
I might be a bad boy. I got nothing. So it's Dark Knight. Can't even pretend. It's a combination. It's a multitude of things. Honestly, it's the fact that you don't really think of it as a chase scene. Like I didn't see this in anybody's lists. Like hardly anybody's list for chase scenes. And then I actually like thought about my favorite movies of all time, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a chase scene. Like, why is nobody talking about that? You know, Batman's in his Batpod chasing them. It starts with Joker chasing the armored car. So
right.
Technically, they're chasing each other. That's what a chase is. So people might think of it as that because of the brilliant directing that's at play. There's no score at all. I love that. And the entire thing.
What a good choice.
It's just brilliant. It's just a quiet tunnel. You're just claustrophobic, and it's that nobody does tunnel chases, like hardly anybody, and I'm sure I'll be corrected on that. But seriously, I mean, pretty much nobody does tunnel chases because of how challenging it is, and they fucking pulled it off, dude, and big time. Christopher Nolan is GOAT, as the kids say.
Yeah, they do say that.
Is the GOAT
Constantly.
the GOAT? He's the.
Is he better than Tom Brady though?
Greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time.
Tom Brady.
Is he better than Tom Brady? Well, who says that? Sounds like Tracy Morgan. What is that?
Everybody that lives in Boston.
Oh, okay.
Like they just wake up. It's like
Brady's
Tom Brady's the
GOAT.
greatest of all time. It's like, dude, I just asked you how your fucking morning was.
How's it
Calm
going?
down.
Yeah, Tom Brady. He's GOAT.
Mark Wahlberg definitely agrees there.
Anyway,
And he shot Jeter. Come on.
he didn't vote for my boy Michael Bay. What's going on?
What's going on? Hey,
I'm breathing really heavy right now.
I'm a
guys. I just ran a
Texan.
lap.
I'm a Texan, and I deal with Transformers. It's no big deal.
Hey, I'm from Texas. See, motherfucker. I can't do it anywhere. He breathes heavy a lot, guys. He just does. That's his MO.
Yeah, you were talking about that in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. In Planet of the Apes,
man.
it's just literally he's not even working out. He's just looking around and he's like, I'm like, why are you panting? You didn't even do anything. That movie's terrible for a number of reasons, though. So Dark Knight moves forward, but Kyle, where would you have gone on this one?
Man, so The Dark Knight was a major oversight on my part because I went back and watched it, even though I go back and watch that movie all the time. But I
Same
guess,
here.
like you guys are saying, like it just never dawned on me as a chase scene, even though it fucking is. People are chasing each other. He wedges the garbage truck underneath himself and up into the. It's amazing. Like it's
unbelievable. Yeah.
How did he fucking do that? He shot that. Like, how did it not fuck up the bridge? You know, like that's the kind of stuff I think about. Like, how much did he pay the city to fuck up that whole tunnel? It's amazing, and I love the no score. I think it's a big oversight on my part. Bad Boys 2 is like fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And it's
Innovative, too.
it's a CG fuck fest.
Yeah.
So and unfortunately, while I don't want to dock CG use like too much because you can't just do stuff like that, they're obviously not just going to throw cars off like the back of a giant car moving truck
dead
or whatever.
Bodies, yeah.
Yeah, but dead bodies. Yeah, and later in the movie, it's dead bodies. Yeah, but yeah, I think I would have to go Dark Knight, man. Like, just because that guy's still doing it. Like he was like, hey man, like I'm gonna do. This is my chance to do like a practical car chase sequence. You know, like a good one.
Right.
And he did. He pulled it off big time.
I just called Bad Boys Too Smart, but I just mean like the things that they throw in the chases, like the dead bodies in the cars. It just feels, I don't know, like inspired choices, whether or not Bay did them himself or if somebody said, hey, what if we did this in the chase scene, which is probably more likely because Bay doesn't have good ideas. So sorry to all the Bay fans out there.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Transformers 5 is awesome. Have you seen 13 Hours? Right.
Man. No, I get that all the time. Dude, you haven't even seen 13 Hours, man? Don't talk to me about Michael Bay if you haven't seen 13 Hours. Yeah, I'm never going to see that movie, so we'll just never talk about Michael Bay, I guess.
Right?
Oh, darn.
Like, you have to go through
I think
hours.
I'm winning. I don't have that movie in my life, so, like, I'm winning.
Yeah. Right. I think you have to go through hours of. It's just unfair to have to go through hours of bullshit to get to one decent movie, like 13 hours, which to me was totally forgettable in the slew of war movies out there, which we might talk about in a future episode because of Dunkirk. Anyway.
War movies.
War movies. And then after that, we're going to do peace movies. I don't know what that means. It's not a
what
genre.
would that even be?
It's people where people do nothing. It's
People just bang all movie. It's Wanderlust and
right.
fucking
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights. There you go.
All right, so the next round is number 14 seed Born Identity, which was my choice, versus number 3 seed Ronin. And Kyle starts this one. I might have no say in this one. Kyle starts.
Oh, you may not. I don't know. We'll see. Man, that Ronin chase sequence is really awesome, man. And I really like the Born
I watched
Identity
it like 3 more times since we talked.
Have you really?
Yeah.
So like one facilitated 2 more. That's good. Because it is a lot of like what's been done before, but it's done really fucking good. I think I brought it up last episode. There's one scene where he just barely squeaks by like a car that's like spinning out in like a really narrow tunnel, and like the tunnel that like forks off into 2 different ways. And he just barely boop right by there, and it's just how the fuck did you do that? Like,
amazing stunt drivers, yeah.
Wow, like great stunt drivers, and they just a lot of really good shots and just a really long chase sequence too. It's awesome. And just want to put it out there, girl driving that other car, an actress, but doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Good job not crashing, I guess. I don't know.
Keeping the head of the man. Yeah, keeping the head of the man. Well, she did, didn't she?
She kind of did, yeah. That's unfortunate playing into stereotypes. It's not our fault.
No.
We're just making
I
observations.
didn't direct the movie. Yeah.
I'm joking. Women drivers are fine. There is no fucking... Get over it.
My mom drove me everywhere and never crashed. I have no problem with women drivers.
Oh, man.
Same here.
Lucky. Very lucky.
It's Ronin for me, though.
Okay, well, fuck that movie. No, I'm kidding. I'm like tipping my hand so I can influence the vote or something. I'm just kidding. JD, what's your pick?
Well, I'm probably going to go with Ronin just because I'm just impressed with having read up on it and the scale that it took to pull all that off practically. I think something like 300 stunt drivers is what I read that they did to achieve that. And like you said, Kyle, I mean the amount of close calls that they had, that's real. That's not that's not fabricated in any way. And they're actually traveling at really high speeds. And for most of the shots, the actors that you see are actually in the car. Yeah. There are very few shots that are done where they're using fake Robert De Niro and fake everybody else whose name I can't remember. So yeah, I mean, Born Identity, I appreciate it, of course, because that's one of my favorite franchises ever. Yeah. But I feel like the scale of Ronin warrants you going and watching that, even if you don't really care for the movie, which I understand. If you don't really want to sit through that entire movie, because they're kind of just doing the same thing over and over again, going for the briefcase over and over and over, and over and do it again and do it again. And do it again. But man, that chase scene is it's phenomenal to me. So I'm gonna push Ronin through. Sorry, Bourne, you're gone. You survived the first round, Bourne.
Poor Bourne, man, couldn't make it through one of these. But Ronin, I would have gone with Ronin too. It's wow. Born Identity is one that's like, I don't know, kind of reminded me, at least at the time that I saw it in theaters, kind of reminded me that car chases could be really cool and very, very dangerous and innovative. Yeah. At the time, because, I was younger and I didn't really see a lot of movies. But yeah, Born Identity, I didn't see as many as I do now, I should say. But Born Identity is great. They deserve props for going downstairs. That was crazy.
That was so cool.
That was fucking nuts. Yeah. The music is very, very 90s, though. At least it feels that way. It's just crazy. I'm gonna rave while he does his car chase. So Ronin, though, is badass, and there's a lot going on in it, and all of it's practical. Like, it's just every ounce of it. And they do a chase scene through that part that in Inception, where Dom was like, "Hey, did you make this place out of a real memory or whatever?" And she's like, "Yeah, I used to go here all the time." And he goes, "Don't do that." Yeah, so that place is real, and they did a chase through that. They did a chase through that fucking like bridge thing. That's crazy. Interesting. It's not like a bridge; it's like a walkway. You know what I mean? I think it was in France, right? So
France.
Yeah, like she it's when she does the thing where she moves the mirror doors or whatever, and then she just kind of touches it and it shatters, and then it's the walkway.
Right.
So they do a car chase all the way through there. It's crazy cool. Yeah, I just love that. It just made me recognize a location because it's a landmark. Ronan's totally going on, and man, the quarterfinals are going to be a bitch to go through. The next matchup is very, very challenging for me personally, at least. It's the number 11 seed Drive, It Like You Stole It. And it's versus that's a Sing Street reference for everybody. Number 6
I still have to see that.
Dude, you do.
Yeah,
you
I need to see that.
Same director. Come on, man, get on it.
Oh, come on! I hate Once. That was just a lie. I
watched
don't like
Once at all.
Once. Wow, what a long con.
Yeah, I really pulled that off for a few months there.
Wow, yeah. had me fooled. Yeah.
All right.
It's going
y'all are both like, yeah, you idiot, you like that movie? Haha. It's like, what? What the fuck?
Gotcha, bitch. The number 6 seed is Raid 2, and that's what's fighting Drive. Oof. And this is not fun at all. I'm first, and this is just misery defined right here. Kathy Bates is in this decision. So
nice.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go with Raid 2. It just feels like cinematically there's more involved and there's more at stakes for the human lives involved because they took so many risks in Raid 2 in that chase scene. With human in general, because the people they cast are the ones that are doing the action. Right. They're the ones that choreograph the action. They're the ones that do the fights. So, on top of it being one of the best action movies of all time, the chase scene is just, I mean, they make so many crazy decisions I've never seen in a movie before. Even if it's something simple like moving a camera from one car to another while it's moving, I just never seen that before. And the fact that they're just like fighting forever in that fucking like Rover.
God,
he's just fighting forever in that thing, man. It's crazy. It's like, kill the motherfucker, man. Jeez. It's cool though. It's really cool, and all the motorcycles chasing the other guy. That was really cool. How they kept pulling up on the Uzis on him, and he would get them in closer so he can grab their gun and shoot the other motorcyclists and stuff. It's just really cool. There's so much cool shit in this movie, and this is just another, it's a cherry on top, basically, of a very, very delicious cake. So I'm gonna go with Raid 2. Kyle, where would you go on this one?
I would go Raid 2 as well. It was a major oversight on my part. I didn't put it on my list, but it would have ranked top 5, something like that. I think it's really well shot. There's a lot going on in that scene, as you're talking about, and I never thought about it that way. They were literally putting the most important people on the set's lives in danger.
Right.
During that. Wow. Like, if they would have gotten one of them killed,
the actors, right? Yeah.
They would have lost the actor, like, the choreographer, the stuntman, right, and everything, So wow, yeah, I never even put that together. So, but yeah, I like Drive a lot. There's 2 really great moments.
Oh yeah, I forgot to give it a good send off. Yeah, it deserves one.
Including some car, including some just car evading. Some great scenes in Drive. But man, Raid 2 something else. It's just it's another one I don't see on anybody's list. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
why would it not be on it? Why? Come on, that's crazy to me.
It's one of those that I listened to another podcast and they talk about it a lot, like specifically that thing with the camera moving between the vehicles, and it kind of like reminded me how good that movie was. And then I had to watch the movie again, of course. But that's how that works. When you hear somebody talk about it, you're like, it's been a while, like a month or something, and you just want to watch it again. It's so, man, it is earned as fuck too. Every action scene is so earned in this movie. It's not just here's some noise.
Exactly, like it's not just like, okay, now they're fighting because they're here and this looks like a great place to fight. Like where John Wick, even John Wick kind of falls in suffer of that, which not a knock against it. It's just like it's just like that movie. You're just kind of waiting for the next kind of big action scene to happen. Yeah. I don't know. In this one, I get lost in the story a little bit, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wow,
oh yeah, that's right, it's an action movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit's about to go down. Oh, shit's going down. You're like, oh whoa. It's very organic, very good.
Love it. JD, where would you have voted on this one?
Well, having just watched Raid Redemption and the Raid 2 back to back,
you watched them both
for the first time ever in the history of my life, for the first time ever. that movie and specifically that scene blew me the fuck away.
Yeah.
Going into that movie, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna vote for Drive. I love that movie. It's in my top 40. You know, it's fucking Ryan Gosling. Probably gonna go for Drive. No, fuck that, man. Raid 2. I haven't had that much raid in my life since I lived in a roach-infested apartment when I was like 23. Holy shit. Oh my god, I'm still coming down from the high of watching that movie. Like, I can't focus at work.
Kyle and I saw it opening night in theaters. We honestly, I don't think we would have. There was no way we knew going in that it was going to be so drastically different than the first movie.
No, not at all.
So it was like a shock. Like,
so
I heard whenever I heard it was 2.5 hours long, I go, of what?
You know, that was my thought exactly, man.
How is it going to be that long? Like, what are they going to be doing the entire time?
Yeah.
They keep busy, this movie, and
always with
engaging.
that quiet scene where he, his brother's dragged out to the woods and assassinated.
Right.
By the crippled guy. Sorry for not being PC, but so he's like dragged out to the woods and assassinated. It's like a quiet scene, but I mean, it's filled with, I mean, as much tension as you could fill with characters you know nothing about. But you just know some bad shit's about to go down, and that's a shotgun to the face is what fucking opens that movie. Like, that's crazy.
To a character who's might as well be one of the main characters of the first movie.
Yeah.
You know, like, when that movie ends, you're like, oh, they're gonna fuck shit up together next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope, doesn't happen. Yeah, because of the head honcho, he's just not thrilled. Or actually, he's taking over. I think. Not my bad. He's not. He wasn't the head honcho. He was just taking over all of the areas or whatever you want to call it.
It is a lot like John Wick in that it's a little more world building. You know.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
John Wick 2.
Absolutely.
So I definitely enjoyed that, but yeah, Kyle, I was like 2.5 fucking hours. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then 2.5 hours later, I'm like, okay, where's more? Because that was fantastic.
Great ending too.
Oh yeah.
How about that kitchen fight scene at the very end?
Dude,
oh my god.
They painted a white kitchen red.
That's the most exhausting
awesome.
fight scene I've ever seen in my life. Like,
They
at the end of it,
yeah.
I'm out of breath. I'm like, woo, holy shit.
That's what's funny about the character who's basically invincible. The lead guy, Yama. I can never remember his name. Rama, I think.
Rama.
It's funny because he just got through fighting like a fuck ton of people in a warehouse, and then the two siblings that carry the two weapon siblings, I guess you want to call them.
Yeah.
And then he has to go into the kitchen, and the guy that's like the knife guy, that's his first fight. He's a fresh dude, but even by the end, he's fucking tired.
Yeah.
They're leaning up against each other, trying to fight each other, but not because they're both exhausted, and they're just leaning up against each other. It's a great moment.
So good.
Yeah, it's great, and I love the way that he tears that dude apart. Man, we could just do a whole raid episode if we wanted to. I love the way he just tears him apart with that knife, and he brings his body, now his corpse, closer to him, and the corpse just collapses like slowly down him. It's just so many brilliant choreography choices in this movie. Jesus Christ!
God, the way he fights is just that
Shock Salat style. It's so good.
Seriously, just everything about those movies is so up my alley.
Style where they it's kind of like blends of judo and there's another fighting style too. But there's a lot of using another person's force against them.
Yes. Yeah,
there's a
diverting
lot of that,
a gun.
But also being as there's a lot of parkour in it too in terms of creativity because he's just hitting people creatively. I've never seen him do certain things. Especially the bat shit. Like, I've never seen the bat stuff or the hammer stuff before that they did.
Oh, yeah.
The hammer scene was, oh my god.
Oh, that was unbelievable. Oh, man. There's
like,
so many homages
I have
to Kung Fu
a weapon
movies
in my house now because of that fucking movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm just going to use the other ends of them
again.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just turn it around and you got a weapon.
I mean, John Wick empowered me with a pen, and now he empowered me with, Rama empowered me with a hammer.
It was a pencil.
Not since MC hammers have hammers been so hot, so...
Right, exactly. I'm not gonna wear the fucking pants though. That's for sure. Fucking hammer pants. Anyway, so we got to move on to the quarterfinals. As much as I want to verbally JO to the Raid 2, because it's in my top 10 list for a reason.
Tonight.
Oh my god, right? Yeah, like if I weren't seeing a movie tonight, fuck.
Totes.
So the next matchup is a quarterfinal matchup. It is Terminator 2. Versus Old Glory, Terminator 2. It's not that old.
Versus Glory.
Versus Fury Road. So starting this matchup is JD, actually.
Oh, sweet.
Have fun.
man, I mean, I feel like we're just gonna kind of keep relying on the same thing. It's like Mad Max is an entire movie of a car chase scene.
It is, yeah.
And that cannot be understated. That's not just a lazy argument. It's
Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect, it's like, hey, if I said all due respect,
Talladega Nights again.
gotta keep it going. All due respect to Judgment Day, man. I mean, that's as well as it sets up the movie, as well as it sets up the tension and hooks you into the story. I gotta give it to Fury Road, not only from a production, from a scale standpoint. I mean, that's just that's some of the best shit ever put on screen. So Charlize wins it, man.
I hear
another
female
driver, right?
I hear you, brother. Let me tell you something, dude. So yeah, another female driver, man, just not fucking up on the road, just breaking stereotypes.
You know what? Good for her.
Good for her.
What a terrible stereotype. Anyway, that's like the worst thing. Anyway, I'm next on this one, and it is I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer a little bit. It's Fury Road. T2 involves 2 vehicles, and don't get me wrong, they are, I mean, you know, they're interesting vehicles to do a chase with. You never would have thought on paper, well, you know what, why don't we just do like a Harley type of motorcycle in a tow truck? And you're like, fuck you, no, that sounds terrible. Are you serious? But then, man, put to film though, it's something else entirely. But Fury Road though, it's immeasurable amount of vehicles in that, and they're all real. Every single one of them is fucking real. You know, they had such a crew that it took fucking so long. It took the amount of time Boyhood took to make this movie because of all of the crew involved making actual vehicles. I remember this being in production hell for so many years, man. Tom Hardy was announced as Mad Max so many years ago, it feels like. But to finally get it, end product wise, it was like worth the wait. Now it's another, I think it's top 20 for me, this movie. So I'm going to reveal my bias, I guess, a little bit. But Fury Road is still, it's got the bigger chase scenes. And bigger, sometimes it's better. Maybe not noisier, like Fast 5 is noisy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
But Fury Road just, I don't know. It's just the entire thing is a chase scene, and we're just going to repeat ourselves. So Fury Road's moving on, but Kyle, where would you have gone on this one? I assume Fury Road.
Well, even though I didn't see very many furries in Fury Road, I'm still gonna have to go with it. Judgment Day is great and it's awesome. It's
love that movie.
All of those things,
yeah.
But come on, who are we kidding? Yeah, it's Mad Max, man. So yeah, Fury Road for me. Fury Road.
Cool, man. Well, we have a very interesting round of the next one, and it's a round of classics. We have Blues Brothers fighting Bullet. Not even 10 years away from each other, these movies came out, I think. Or unless I'm Blues Brothers might be a late 70s movie, but still, it's you know what I mean? They're not that far apart from each other.
Right.
Both kind of filled the genre with all their tropes, you know what I mean, for car chases going forward. So this is fucking compelling as shit. So for this matchup, is this match 2? Yes. We have Kyle going first. It's like, what? I just went.
It is me. Yeah, it's like, oh shit. No, I love Blues Brothers. I don't know why I was going to say that. That's crazy. I love Blues Brothers. It's really, really good. But after just seeing Bullet for my first time and knowing like how far along, like how long ago that came out and all the things that they pulled off, and I think I got to go Bullet on this one just because I feel like I was really, really underestimating this movie. Yeah. You kept on like talking big game about it like last episode, and I was like, it's not gonna be that good. You know?
That's what I thought when I read all the articles.
It's 1968. Come on. Yeah, and even when I was reading other people's list, I'm like, come on, guys. Like,
settle the fuck down with the Bullet talk.
We've learned so many things since then. You're gonna tell me this is like in your top 5? That's crazy. Yeah, top 5 material. It's really, really good. It's a really good chase scene. And if I had to choose one, it would have to be Bullet, even though I really just love the charm of the Blues Brothers scene. But the Bullet scene is just, I mean, it's the foundation of like what we know as this car chase sequences. So
it's the blueprint, yeah. It's it.
The blueprint.
That's it.
Great word, yeah.
You look for this. You look at this movie. How do they do car chases? How did they do the first car chase ever again? Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. They've done older car chases in silent films and stuff, but it's all behind this like shitty projected screen. You know what I mean? It's fake as shit. This is like practical in the world. type of stuff. Oh, it's so good. JD, you're next, man.
Man, this one's actually tough, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna
very.
pretend like it. I'm gonna pretend like it's easy because I'm pretty sure my dad told me if I didn't put Bullet through to the quarters, he was gonna kill me. I feel like being here for the remainder of this podcast, so I'm gonna go Bullet because
Okay.
but in seriousness, I mean what that means to this topic of conversation, exactly what you guys say and what we've said when we've been talking about it earlier. It's that important. And as much as I love the Blues Brothers, I respect it, and it definitely has that humor factor to it, intentionally so, because it's comedy. Comedies generally have humor.
It delivers in the humor and the action.
It really does. Yeah, it's unexpected. Bullet definitely. You watch that and you feel like you're moving at 100 miles an hour when you're watching it. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna go Bullet.
it's
It does.
I get nervous watching that movie, especially when we get behind the wheel of the camera.
And I didn't even think about the fact that like anytime they tried to pull off this shit before, it was like a moving screen in the background. Like,
It was. It's just
so
a shitty, not even CG. Yeah,
guys doing like 10 and 2 and just like fake steering the wheel and all that old bullshit.
Martin Lawrence steering the wheel, just lazily turning it from right to left.
Bobbing it exactly. Yeah.
No, this defies all that shit, and thank God it did and it did it with beautiful cars. You cannot understate that. Those fucking cars are gorgeous.
Oh yeah, big time. Even still, like in 2017, we're still looking back at those cars.
I think I would drive one. I think maybe. Would you guys?
Yeah,
you guys drive one?
I would.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
totally.
I'd drive the one that Bullet was driving. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Right. Yeah, just a little Mustang. It's no big deal.
Yeah, just no big deal. It surely doesn't go for millions of dollars nowadays.
No, not at all.
Or however
No,
much.
especially those shitty Shelby ones. Those are the worst.
Yeah, nobody likes those.
Those
just
GT
awful.
500s.
Yeah. Oh God, it's like
Gross.
more like Grand Terrible
You
Reno.
know what? That car is a big loser car. You want to talk about it?
All right, so
It's taller than me. Don't like it.
I would have gone. Honestly, I would have gone with Bullet 2. Blues, I mean, it's tough to go against the Bullet 2. Yeah,
Bullet 2, Bullet as well.
The balls on these guys to not go with a sequel after such a successful like car chase sequence, because French Connection did. They went with a sequel. You know what I mean? Like, and it was. I think it was predicated on the fact that the car chase was so riveting. Well, the movie's really good too, but still, it was kind of like this groundbreaking thing. And then they made a sequel, and I heard it's good, but I haven't seen it yet. Regardless, anyway, Bullet, I'm going with. For the fact that we already talked about the blueprint / foundation of it. But Blues Brothers, primarily, my takeaway is the ending with the car pileup, like the legitimate, like real, all those cop cars piling up on each other. I've never seen anything like that in a movie. Still, even to date, even though Mad Max had all these cars, Blues Brothers is like, times 10. Let's throw in 100 fucking cars. But Bullet, I love the whole thing from start to finish. And Blues Brothers is just kind of like the ending is the one I remember most about it. But Bullet, it's every fucking mile, quarter of a mile at a time.
Good dome.
I'm so glad we're doing a car chase fucking episode so I can quote Fast and Furious. Oh my God. All right, so Bullet moves on, and it's gonna have a rough, furious road ahead of it. So thank you.
Oh wow, that was real clever.
So the next matchup is The Matrix Reloaded versus Dark Knight. Fuck me in the butt. This is
so
tough.
now we're gonna vote for a Matrix movie over a Batman movie, not in our villains bracket, huh?
It kind of makes sense, though. I mean, on the villains bracket, let's be real. Joker was just like, I'm just going to recruit people to fight Agent Smith. Not going to be enough, dude. He's just going to absorb all of them. Me. All right, so... Too. Me too. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So I'm first on this one, and I'm going to go with... It breaking my heart. So that's my shitty old Pacino reference. Anyway. You're breaking my heart.
God,
you could have done a Michael Caine Dark Knight Rises impression of breaking
that's
my
true.
heart.
No,
you went off topic to Al Pacino.
It's really the size of a tangerine.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Good job.
I just wanted to watch the world burn. I can't do it. It's
look at him, his ferocity, his training.
I'm gonna go with Reloaded on this one. Both of these, well, I mean, the original Matrix are in my top spoiler alert, 3. Like, as it stands right now. Like, I mean, seriously, these movies...
Seriously,
What?
they're great movies.
For real, though. Like, Dark Knight, The Matrix, fucking unbelievable movies.
I agree.
Reloaded, obviously not, because I had to pick one. I'm not going to put a bunch of sequels, and there's just going to be nothing but sequels in my top 10.
I would always said that if I was going best action movies of all time list, Reloaded is on that list. Best movies of all time list, The Matrix is on that list.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of how I always looked at it.
That's interesting. I would still put Matrix up there ahead of Reloaded, even though Reloaded's action sequences are bigger.
Well, there's more of them too. I think it's just more of an action movie to me. I mean, if we're talking like quantity or whatever.
Yeah, I hear you. And I love the sequels, and I think we all do. I mean, we're apologists, if you will.
Yeah, I think the third one's amazing, and people can shove it.
Yeah, so. They can shove it right up their d hole. I hope it's uncomfortable too. So Dark Knight is fantastic, but I mean, we're talking about Matrix Reloaded. I know there's a lot of CG in there. Don't get me wrong. But there's so much innovation behind the decisions that they made in terms of the action, each step along the way. You're talking about like car chase. We already talked about the agent in the last episode. The agent jumping from the roof of a car to another roof and using that as a trampoline to another roof of a car. And already in that other car that he jumps on, Trinity and Morpheus are fighting with the ghost guy, and they have they're grabbing his hand at that moment. And they're pointing the Uzi through the windshield and just firing with that ghost guy's hand at the agent who's dodging it, of course, because he's an agent. Doesn't matter if he's on a speeding car; he's just doing it. There's just so much going on behind every moment.
That's 10 seconds. That's 10 seconds of like a 15-minute scene or whatever.
Exactly.
It is.
And
11 minutes, however long
it's
it
so
is.
hard to describe. But man, there's so many just filled with epic moments in that. And Dark Knight has a couple for sure. And story-wise, it fits within a narrative better, I think, in Dark Knight. I mean, just because the movie as a whole is just... The entire story is just fucking amazing. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's immaculate. Yeah.
But people can say what they want about Two-Face. I think the story's still immaculate.
I can't believe people are saying things about Two-Face all of a sudden. Yeah. When did that start
tacked
happening?
on. Like
it's tacked on.
Are you serious?
It felt unnecessary. Not a way to handle Two-Face. You're dumb. You're a dumb person.
You're dumb. You're a dumb person.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
I think remove your eyes. You don't deserve to watch movies. Reloaded for me. They built a highway. It took 12 years to make. No, I'm just... It didn't really take 12 years to make. I'm just quoting the Boyhood thing. Anyway, so we have Kyle next.
I will say that Dark Knight is really awesome. Major oversight on my part for not putting it on my list originally, but Matrix Reloaded just has too much going on, man. It's got way too much going on. There's so that scene, maybe our longest chase scene in this list too, I think. Mm-hmm. If you're not counting Mad Max,
full of everything too, though.
Yeah, but it's amazing. I just really enjoy it, and it doesn't even stop at that. I always keep on mentioning and then you get the Morpheus and Agent scene fighting on top of the 18-wheeler, which is just silly, but it's awesome. Might as well. We're already there.
Fuck it.
We're already there on the highway. Might as well. Really cool. He gets the sword out and starts slicing him up. It's great. Yeah. The tie falls off. It's awesome stuff. Good things.
Oh yeah, I love the tie falling off. It's a little thing.
Oh, it's the little things, man. Yeah.
And he looks down like it was like a racial slur. He's like, you messed up my outfit. He looks so mad.
And Morpheus is so proud of himself as he's finishing up his form. He's like, yeah, I got you, bitch. Really good. Like that whole scene. Oh, and then him falling off and Niobe catching him, behind him.
Yeah, that was good. And he jumped. The way he jumps up there and you see the vibrations on the hood.
Yeah.
He probably did that run for real, and then they cut, and obviously they had to do a CG with the wires and then the blue screen, the green screen. And then the way he kicks him, that was a great shot too. That's what they put in trailers.
Yeah, it's a hook.
It's a hot scene, man. And when I say hot, I mean it oh man, that shit hot. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this I forgot to say this about Dark Knight. People could argue Batman Begins has a better chase scene because when he's first discovered as Batman, the cops are after him, and it's a long chase scene on rooftops and shit like that. I totally forgot about that.
Why did we not bring that up?
I don't know.
Man, I don't think I've watched Batman Begins in a long time.
Yeah, I know. It's a good movie, dude.
Such a pleasurable return, man. Yeah, it's so good. You're like, man, that guy really that guy really knew what he was fucking doing from the very beginning. He didn't just stumble into Dark Knight.
But that was before Christopher Nolan had really made he'd made a name for himself, but he was still more underground.
Yeah. It was I think it was before Prestige. I think Prestige he really he made whenever everyone saw that movie, you're like, oh, even Memento, I would even say you're like, wow, this guy's not even good. He's smart. He's a cerebral, guy or whatever.
I got turned on to Memento just because of the plot device of telling the story backwards in increments moving forward. Nobody that sold me that movie was like, oh, this director's fantastic, because I was like, what, 15 maybe?
Oh,
16?
There's no way we could have known that too, because that was his second movie.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah, and the first one we would have had to gone to the black market to fucking see. So it's on Netflix now, by the way. Go see Following, everybody. It's good though. But I remember, it's Memento kind of built that momentum up for Batman Begins, and I remember being attracted to Memento because it was like, man, I can't wait for a Nolan episode. By the way, I was really attracted to that movie because it had Matrix people in it. It had
Carrie-Anne Moss and Cypher.
And I think it was Trinity that brought on Joey Pantoliano onto the. That role. Because originally Nolan wanted somebody else. It was supposed to be this big cast, like Brad Pitt as Guy Pearce's role and shit like that. But it just didn't shake out that way because of budget reasons and stuff like that and schedule.
I'm glad it didn't.
I'm glad too because Guy Pearce is a great narrator. I love what he brought to that. There's so much in that movie. It's another top 40. Honestly, there's a section of my top 40 that we're going to go to whenever we do that episode. That's just Nolan movies. It's 5 Nolan movies in a row.
It's probably all of his movies are on my list. So we'll see.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
It's hard. It's hard to choose a baby.
Though, man. Everybody should go back and watch that chase because it's longer than you remember. I remember sitting through it going, whew, that was good. I remember ending it with that because that's when he goes fully. He turns off all his lights and the choppers. Yeah. And they can't find him, and then they're like, there he is, and he's listening over the radio, and he turns his lights back on and just fucking jets. It's awesome. And there's so many great moments in that chase scene. But Dark Knight it's just more memorable, man. You got the Joker in there with the slaughter truck, and he's shooting fucking bazookas and shit. It's awesome. So it's just bigger, and they flipped a 18-wheeler. Anyway, Reloaded's moving forward, but I think JD, you still have a vote here.
I'm just
curious what your vote would have been.
It would have been to send Dark Knight appropriately off to the slaughter. Sorry. Send Dark Knight to the slaughter because Matrix Reloaded.
The laughter house.
Just the laughter house. Yeah. They can turn Dark Knight into some good beef products like an Okja, right? Yeah, they can send them all. Now, was Dark Knight made with all GMOs or non-GMO? That's my question.
I don't know. Heath Ledger was on some shit. Real quick.
He was on some shit. So we got a genetically modified organism confirmed in Dark Knight. Doesn't go through for me. Done.
My understanding, one of the documentaries from this year that I saw that I really, really loved, it's honestly number 2 behind the musical scores one, is I'm Heath Ledger. And that one talks about how he wasn't able to sleep before Dark Knight. You know what I mean? His mind was always moving, and he always had these ideas, and he would call his friends at 3 a.m. going, hey, I have this idea. And they're like, dude, it's fucking 3 a.m. So it's a really great documentary, man. I cried pretty hard at the end of it. I'm not going to lie, dude. What an immense talent.
Where can I watch this?
Is Baby, it on loser.
Baby, what a
It debuted on Spike TV as an hour long for some reason, or an hour and a half. And which is an hour of television, but I found another version of it somewhere you can get on demand, and it's a full movie, and it ends with I didn't even know he had a musical studio, he had a record company. I can't remember the name of it, but they worked with Bon Iver. If you might be familiar with him, he was working with his company, his partner. Heath Ledger was working with his partner, his best friend in that venture. And his best friend was working with Bon Iver at the time that Heath Ledger passed, and Bon Iver ended up writing a song called Perth about Australia and how Heath Ledger grew up with his friend in Australia. And that music played, and I was like, oh, I'm not crying. And that song is just gorgeous. When you hear it, you'll be like, oh, that does sound familiar, because it's one of those songs that you put behind every sad moment you want in a TV show or a movie. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. The entire movie is, though. It's great, man.
Cool.
Fucking miss Heath Ledger, man.
Yeah, what the
man? Way
and
before his time, man.
He was directing the shit out of music videos before he left too, and I I think people forget that too. He had a creative spirit, man, and he just didn't know how to turn his brain off, and it led to all that bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn, things got real. So the next round, I have no segue for this. The next round is the Raid 2 versus Ronin.
Woo!
Oh, jeez.
And JD, I'm gonna take a sip of my wine while you start.
God,
Cool.
I'm so glad I'm like probably hopefully not part of this because I don't want to be.
I'm gonna take a sip of my beer because fuck.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, and it's appropriately domestic light beer, so yeah, it's very appropriately Stone Cold.
Well, he drinks wine now. That's why I said I did that.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Stone Cold, what was it like? What was it like being at Raw but not in Raw this week?
I was backstage talking to Vince, shook his fucking hand, then I went fucking walking, back fucking truck, and then I left because fuck that fucking show. All right.
Stone Cold, I have a question for you. Now that you've switched to wine, does it change from Stone Cold to Stone slightly closer to room temperature because that's how we drink wine? Is that a thing? Can that...
Yeah, I'm doing the hand symbols. You can't see it. Oh,
sweet.
All right,
it's good to see you, Stone Cold. And this whole bracket can be defined with, well, I thought it was going to go a certain way until I watched the Raid 2 for the first time.
Yes.
Because yeah, dude, I'm like sucking at the teat of Ronin because of just how it was produced and the scale of it, and just appreciating the attention to detail that had in choreography that would have to go into 300 stunt drivers coordinating all that shit. But man, the Raid 2 just blew me away in every fucking facet of it as a movie, and that scene was. If I was biased, I'd be going for the one that I've seen multiple times, not the one that I just watched for the first time.
No, it's recency bias. It's a thing.
Recency bias.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. But no, I mean, it's gonna be the Raid 2 for me. I'm gonna have to lead off with that one and let you guys figure it the fuck out from there, because dude, the Raid is so fucking intense to me. That cannot be beat.
I hear you, and it's like I said, it's in my top 10 of all time as it currently stands. I don't know that it's going to change because I'm an action junkie. I don't know how to turn that off. I'm next in this one, and this is fucking tough. We're arguing the merits of a car chase, and I mean, shit. When you think of Ronin, you think of the car chase. When you think of the Raid 2, you think of many things.
Sure.
You think of the bathroom fight scene, and you think of the scene after that in the rain. Out in the courtyard, you think of exactly. You think of the car chase. You think of
someone's mouth gets ripped off in that scene.
Yeah.
If you really look, you're really looking. You
his leg got kicked in. No big deal. His leg was like he literally just bent his leg with his hand and just went like it's no big deal.
Jesus, that scene. There is so many grotesque moments in both of those movies that you're like, ah!
The most visceral action you'll ever see. Unquestionably, and it's meant to be like it's not. It's like imagine watching Neon Demon or Bad Batch, which Kyle and I just watched, and it's like it's kind of like that in terms of its violence. You know how bloody it is and gory it is, but you're like, ooh yeah, like you're kind of like say a yeah after it. Like, that shit's
absolutely.
Awesome. It's weird. It's weird how it touches that. Like that director just has an affinity for blood and gore, and it works for his movies. It really does. I'm honestly, and this sucks. I hate to be the split vote guy, but I'm gonna have to go with Ronin, and I feel bad.
What?
I feel bad, dude. I'm gonna go with Ronin because
I didn't want to be part of this.
I'm sorry, Kyle. Ronin for me, it's just I've seen, like I've told you guys, I watched it like 3 more times since we've talked, and that car chase scene is just immaculate. Like I don't believe for not even 1 second, maybe not even a millisecond, that Robert De Niro was behind the wheel of that fucking car. It's not believable at all. It's this wheel. It's just
you're gonna milk me, Greg?
I changed my oil. It's just not. I did the face and nobody can see it. It makes no sense.
I can
hear your face.
Yeah,
I can hear your face.
Exactly.
You gotta do the nose breathing. Yeah. Driving. Busy.
Fuck.
Busy driving. I have to go with Ronin though. I mean, obvious stunt driver swaps aside, because there's no way De Niro did that. There's no way that actress did that from Californication. I can't remember her name, but she's gorgeous.
Yeah, she was in the Truman Show too. Yep, I remember.
Truman Show. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the one who was like
She was the
I was on
magazine girl,
show
the original
before.
girlfriend.
Yes, yeah. Talk about a great movie, by the way. If you ever have the urge to watch Truman Show like randomly,
do it.
your urge is right. Watch it.
I've never seen it, so
You've never
What?
seen it's good, dude. It's so fucking good.
never seen it.
It's
Dude,
honestly,
Ed
I don't know
Harris
what year
is
that came out.
great,
One of my
man.
favorites.
And I love Ed Harris.
Ed Harris, yeah, he plays like the godlike figure, very Mark Zuckerbergian
Christoph
for his
the
time.
artist.
Yeah,
Christoph.
there's a lot
First
going
name
on in that
only.
movie, dude. It's eminently rewatchable. Like one of the most rewatchable movies of all
Nice.
time. Like seriously, if it's on TV, you're just like, gotta fucking. What part is that? Oh, he's having beer on the dock with his best friend. Like it's just, I love that movie so much.
I always say, and if I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Like that's
Oh,
just
man.
one of those things, man.
Yeah, it's one of Jim Carrey's. I think it's like his. If I had to pick, because he's had a few good performances, that's probably his best performance for me. Because it's a perfect balance of comedy and drama. It's the perfect balance. It's not like too serious. Eternal Sunshine just lives in seriousness.
Yes.
And then there's a part where he gets really ridiculous when it's a childhood memory. But man, Truman Show.
I think The Truman Show is also a very good movie that wouldn't really work the way it is now if they'd made that movie now because the world is so intrusive by nature.
Yeah,
so
Snapchat, Instagram, shit like that. Yeah.
It was right at the precipice of our entire lives being known by corporations and being followed by everything. So
that's what's hilarious
really
about that, kind of hilarious in like an odd way, is
really
this was
hilarious,
almost kind of before reality shows like started. At least I don't remember reality shows being a thing except for the Real World, and then like Truman Show took over.
Survivor or something like that, but this is more like Big Brother territory, I guess.
God damn it! That fucking movie is so good, guys. Anyway,
let's watch.
But stay tuned for our Truman Show podcast.
All right.
Truman podcast. Oh man, that would be super meta. Anyway, so Ronin is my pick. There's just a lot happening in that chase scene, and it's super respectable. You mentioned all the stunt drivers that were on it. That's one of my arguments. European cars, that's cool. Same thing with Ray 2, though. They had European cars,
BMW,
too.
man. I'm a big BMW fan.
Yeah. So Kyle, it's a split vote, man. I'm sorry. I hate to do that to you.
Man.
Don't vote third party. It won't count.
I'm gonna go The Rock.
Okay, libertarian.
Save yourselves. Yeah, great. God, wow. I think I'm gonna have to roll with your point, Jeff. Where if you're talking about like what these movies are known for in the pantheon of like why we like remember these movies, the Raiders remember for so many things. But Ronin's remembered for its car scene. And whenever you're talking about car chase scenes, it's this movie that's on the list. Right. It's this movie that's in top 5, you know. It's this movie that always comes up whenever you're talking car chase sequences. And I think that means something because it's that fucking good. And I think it deserves to go on. I think it really does. I think everything the Raid does is really, really crazy and in a lot of ways more inventive. How it's shot that is than Ronin, but I think Ronin, just that sequence is like 5 minutes long. You know, it's so long. You're really in that. You're really in that chase sequence. You know, it gives you room to breathe, even though you're kind of breathless by the time it's all done because there's just so many close calls. Whoa!
So many perfectly executed too. Like I don't know how the fuck they did that. Like you said.
Because those stunt drivers are meant to like flip those cars a certain way so they land a certain way. Like everything's so orchestrated. Nothing's like improv on that road, you know. So the way that how many times they had to shoot that, you know, to like get it just right.
Oh my god, dude! I imagine them taking a month to do that shit.
Oh my god.
It's got a tough road ahead of it though, Ronin. We'll see how it does once it jacks in. That's another pun. You're welcome. So the next matchup, thank God I'm last for this. I don't have to sweat this out. I might not have to. It's Mad Max Fury Road versus Bullet. The trendsetter. People will be. This is the round where people get mad.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact people are gonna get upset.
Oh yeah, when I posed this question in the group that we're in, Kyle. One dude was like, everybody else is just a doppelganger. Bullet's the one that wins, and I get it. Obviously, it made it this far.
How do copies win? How do we let a copy win? He might be right. I don't know. He might be right.
So who's first? I can't. Oh, Kyle's first.
Is it me?
Yeah.
I don't want to be first. I went last.
Nope. Pass.
Damn, I have to set the precedence of being the bad guy on this episode, and I just want everybody to know that I'm the one falling on this sword. Woe is me.
We thank you.
Yeah, whatever. Dude, Bullet's fucking amazing. Mad Max is a full movie of a car chase sequence. It is the same chase from the moment the movie starts till it ends. You're in the same chase sequence. There are transitions, and that's awesome. And it transitions into some really amazing parts, into some little pockets of character building and stuff like that, and world building. But then it's right back to the grind, man. It's so awesome, you know. And you get those T2 feels to this movie by having the 18-wheeler there, having the cab there, and all that stuff. And then you just get the onslaught of just amazing, you know, like characterized cars with spikes all over them and everything.
Yeah,
and
the cars are characters, man. I forget about that.
It's just awesome. It's just a great movie. It's one of the all-time greats. Like it is.
It is.
Mad Max is
Easily. I knew that when we walked out of the movie, man.
I gotta be honest, I didn't even know Bullet existed until we started doing this show. So, I had no idea. So
I've heard it talked about in the action world, but not, you know what I mean? It doesn't come up that often unless you're looking for hard-boiled detective story or
well, and that's my
movie.
baggage. That movie seems way more popular than I probably should have known about it before, 3 weeks ago. But
I mean, me too. I mean, I've heard it in passing. I've heard of Steve McQueen, and that's like his staple.
See, me too. I know all about Steve McQueen, that boy.
But still, we have two more votes to go though. So JD,
take it away. All right.
Well, Jeff, I think you can go on vacation in this round because no,
yeah, it's gonna be Mad Max for me too, man. Even though I appreciate Bullet, my dad only said voted through to the quarters, so I'm off the hook emotionally. I don't have to worry about that shit.
I was gonna say, don't you dare, JD.
Look, with all due respect to Bullet,
don't you put this on me, JD.
Don't you put that on me.
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
I'm too drunk. If you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you. God damn. How did we not put Talladega Nights at least in the conversation? That's a whole movie about cars turning left all the time.
Turn left a little bit. I'm gonna go straight, and then I'm gonna turn left a little bit.
Oh man, good old Cartman. Now it's going to be Mad Max because of the spectacle and just it's the culmination of everything that Bullet built from the ground up. We got there, man. We got to the fucking mountain,
true.
And we planted the flag, and Furiosa for the win, man. That shit.
Honestly, dude, like Fury Road is the grandchild of the legacy Bullet created. Like, it's the fact that everything came full circle like that, it just blew my mind. I don't know if I can continue because that just blew the fuck out of my mind right now.
Awesome. Well, it's a good thing you don't have to. So,
I know I would have voted Fury Road too. Guys, I don't know if you knew this. This is news to me. I had to Wikipedia it. Fury Road, the whole movie's a car chase.
Oh my god, that's a really good point. I wish I'd heard that before. So I
really wish I would have used that point in my my own point. So,
man, why did Italian Job move on so easily?
Another Charlize Theron classic role, okay? Classic role.
Classic.
Oh, fuck. Oh, when I get some wine in me, man. All right, so the next round is not easy. It's the definition of kill yourself. This is tough. It's The Matrix Reloaded versus Ronin. Shit! So I got to sit back last time. I have to go first this time.
Good.
Good. Fuck you. And fuck this show. I'm out. All right.
And sign off.
So this is really, 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 really tough. Ronin isn't something that I hate to put emotion into this shit. Or like, my own personal history into it. Ronin isn't something I gravitated towards until like maybe 4 years ago. Like that was the first time I saw the movie. Matrix Reloaded, man. I saw it in theater day one. I missed school seeing this fucking sequel.
Exactly. Yeah. I took a half day to go see that shit. I left my lunch break and skipped my last class.
Then we saw it like 3 more times.
Yeah, we were all in junior high when it came out. Is that right?
It was my junior year. So
11th grade.
Y'all
I remember being in Clark making jokes
grade.
about I was in Clark High School, it's 10th grade, making jokes about, like what a parody, airplane-esque type parody movie would be.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I remember talking about like the next day after I saw Matrix Revolutions in the morning on Friday, and I went to school because they wrote like a doctor's note for me and everything. Sorry, principal, whatever your name is, if you got that doctor's note.
My principal listens to this podcast. No.
No, yeah, none of them are like
We keep in
they don't
touch.
keep track of their students. Let's be fucking honest. But like unless they become super famous, like Sheryl Crow went to my high school. Fuck you, you didn't care.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody knows Brittany West from our high school. I'm sure.
Oh,
like all of the principals and everything.
Matrix Reloaded though. Or Revolutions, I'm sorry. I remember going to school and like in gym class, which was bullshit. We didn't do anything physical at all. We just walked around. All I did was talk about Revolution's plot points because everybody wanted to know. They were so curious.
Yeah.
Because, when you have parents, you don't have the liberty, like Kyle and JD and I, we all do. We just go Thursday nights now. Fuck it. You know what I mean? I want to see the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
But we didn't have that liberty when we were a kid. We were just kind of like, can
Mom,
we go to the movies
can
on
you drive
Saturday?
my
Can
Yeah.
you drop me off?
Right.
Or you try to do the, like, we're going to go to the mall and then get somebody else's parents to pick you up from the mall
Exactly.
and take you to the fucking movie
Nicole's
theater.
mom is
like,
cool.
back when Colin Creek had stores that were open.
Oh,
Wasn't
my
that fun? Wasn't that fun, guys?
When Colin Creek wasn't just Sears.
Well,
all it
it took the Richardson Square Mall approach, and I live right by that mall, and it's depressing as fuck because it's
God.
man,
the
yeah.
structure
So like
is
Valley
no longer
View,
there.
not Valley. Is it
Oh
called
my
Valley View?
No, Valley View. There's still things in Valley View, especially stabbings. Those are the most common things.
Got the stabbings for sale.
No, there's a movie theater inside Valley View that's like keeping it. Yeah.
I don't mean to put off this vote, but sorry. I'm gonna go with Reloaded. I hate to say I grew up with it from my adolescence to the present day, but and there's just so much effort that went into that chase. You could honestly, you could argue that it's one of the best of all time, and we certainly are. For a reason, though. I mean, there's so much in it. I mean, it's not just there's a car chase happening while people are fighting on top of a fucking truck. Like there's so much more in it than just what you see in the passenger or the driver's seat of a car. It's people fighting on top of the fucking car with kung fu moves and shit. Like it's no big deal. Gravity doesn't fucking matter in this world anyway.
Gravity.
It's not working against them.
Because Neo comes in and picks people up out of the sky.
All right, so
Yes.
I'm going Reloaded, and none of your votes matter. Reloaded's moving forward. No, I'm just kidding. Kyle, what's your vote?
You're right, Jeff, because it doesn't matter because Reloaded does move forward. 'Cause
Yes!
That's what I'm choosing. What a
Yay.
Slow clap.
Yeah. All right. I love this sequence, man. Morpheus jumps out of a car and cuts down another car with a sword, and that car flips.
Katana's a car.
He flips it over, and then he shoots it with a Glock, and it explodes. That's just part of a 10-minute sequence.
Right. And that's before he jumps on the truck and does the whole kung fu sequence.
Yeah.
That's a
And then
transition between the
don't
first
even get me started on the motorcycle shit. Where,
Oh, yeah.
oh my God. So much going on. And yeah, they do just keep on busting U-turns. They're like, all right, we went that far. Let's turn around and go against traffic. And it's just a great sequence. And Ronan's awesome. Ronan's practical. There's barely anything practical about Reloaded except they actually built that highway, which they did.
They fucking did.
But you're right. If you watch, actually, there's a lot practical about that sequence because if you watch the behind the scenes, they only add in a few cars.
It's
for
only
every
a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
I just mean,
yeah.
like the two 18-wheelers colliding and
the
Morpheus
the
jumping
Smiths,
up and
the Smiths jumping in the
Yeah.
air and stuff like that. There's definitely a lot of fakery going on, but it's stuff you can't do, But everything else that you can do that doesn't put people in immediate danger, they did, And that's awesome. And man, it's just a legendary scene. It's legendary. It's a legendary
Absolutely.
scene in a movie that's so underappreciated, I think.
it's the stuff legends are made of.
Yeah. And I never gave a shit about how did they do that until that movie. I wanted to watch that.
Me too.
Yeah,
show me the
yeah.
behind the scenes on that. I want to see how they fucking pulled that off.
I got started on the first Matrix with that special features shit, and especially the scene where Smith and Neo are in the air and the cameras are swirling around. That's that's the first time I really cared about
the bullet
how
time.
the hell did they do this, and so it
The
just
the subway scene.
Yes, exactly.
When I made my asinine comment earlier about like Reloaded being a better action movie, that's the very first scene that popped in my mind. I go, oh, I'm a fucking moron. That's like one of the most legendary like.
They did
scenes of
so
all
many
time.
shout outs
and then they're
to
both out of bullets. Like, oh my god.
Well, it's genre blending too. It's western.
That's a western. Yeah, you have the tumbleweed newspaper.
You literally have a tumbleweed newspaper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's brilliant how they did that. I love that. That's that action sequence.
Great
blows my
shootout.
mind.
It bleeds right into an amazing sequence, which bleeds in right into an amazing chase sequence.
Great fake ending, of course. Yeah, with the ends in the foot chase. But great fake ending with the My Name is Neo, and he flies him up into the roof and smashes him.
Yeah, and it feels like he won, but it's so short-lived. Like you're like, oh,
super short-lived.
He's just walking right off that train.
He should have immediately started running, dumbass. Come on, man, start running.
You know how this works.
Exactly. Have you seen a movie before? No, it doesn't. So before we get, and honestly, there's like 3 movies in here that I cared about revisiting, like the behind the scenes, or 4 in this bracket, and 2 of them are in the finals.
Cool.
But yeah, the other ones being Dark Knight and Raid 2. I just had to see how that shit was done. Like, how the fuck did they flip that 18-wheeler? And when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's how I did it. It was unbelievable, though. Not to prolong the episode, but we did see Baby Driver, and I wanted to pause at least a little bit before we get to the epic finals.
Yeah.
And we'll all give our brief thoughts on it. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was.
Do I sound super enthused?
It was decent. I thought it was okay. Honestly, no, I thought it was.
Didn't
amazing.
hold a candle
Yeah.
to whatever else came out. Captain Underpants.
Yeah,
Captain
absolutely.
Takes
No emoji
You know,
movie. dog.
around this time of year, I was enjoying the world famous Independence Day Resurgence, and I just don't feel like this movie really lived up to
Not at all.
those hypes. you
Not
know?
enough old
Nope.
man driving a bus chases or whatever the fuck that was. That story was
What's
so fucking
that?
stupid. I have no idea. Anyway, Baby Driver though.
Man, that opening chase scene probably could have been in this bracket.
Yeah,
I don't know about the opening though. I think the chase scene with the ex-military guy was better.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying.
oh, you know
I
what?
mean,
You're right. The
could've
first
been in that.
opening,
But the
he
opening
blends in
was
cars,
so
right?
cool when he blends in with the red cars. Like
Yeah.
he sees the red cars on the other side of the road,
Forces
jumps
one to-
over, gets in there, switches mid. I mean, dude, that's like drive level tactician
Yeah.
with it's like on par with Ryan Gosling's character in that. Just how fucking cerebral he is with his driving. Man, just what a thrill of a movie. Thank
Yeah,
God that
absolutely.
movie
From
came out
start to
so we could
finish,
do
dude.
this.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, from start to finish though, like I mean, there's a middle part there where he kind of lives his life a little bit, and you're kind of like, when's the next action sequence? But it's still,
Yeah, but I didn't care,
it's important
I didn't
though.
care
It's
because
important.
the characters were interesting enough.
They were.
You know, I was interested with his foster dad. He was
Yeah,
cool.
I like
he
their
brought,
personalities.
he brought
man.
a little
I like that, too.
lighthearted nature to it, where he was like not being judgmental, but still like, dude, you got to get the fuck out of this life.
Yeah,
But,
like it's dangerous. You know.
yeah. But then just watching the way he would dance to the music around him, like kind of having that kid attitude,
Yeah.
like get the fuck out of here, dude. Come on.
Especially
like, I'm
the
doing what
opening.
want.
I mean, the opening chase impressed me a lot. Don't get me wrong, but the cinematic value in the opening dancing on the streets type of montage with the
everything
opening
about
credits.
the music and just
Yeah.
the way the action synchronized with it, like the gunshots going to the pulse of the song. I
Yeah.
mean, that's
especially that Queen song,
it's-
which goes in many
Oh,
directions. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, that's his killer track, man.
yeah.
That's
That's
his killer
unbelievable. Unbelievable shit in this movie. Like honestly, like
Oh my God.
inspiring shit in this movie. This
I
is
want to
like,
go watch it again right now. Like
It's,
I really,
it was
I
the
would-
first movie I've seen this year that I had that react. Like, oh, I would go buy another ticket right now and just sit and watch
Yep.
another viewing right
Exactly.
this second. You know,
Totally.
Mhm.
Not that I haven't seen a lot of good movies this year, but that was the first movie that immediately, you know. I
Dude,
was
yeah,
like,
it's
man,
been hard to
this
come
is-
by. Like I've loved a lot of movies this year, but none of them are 5-star for me. Like
Yeah.
maybe the Score movie with documentary, but that's only because of my passion for musical film music, I should say. But yeah, like everything else, like Get Out, I love Get Out and stuff. Like, but I mean, none of these are just 5-star movies for me. And then Baby Driver came out, and I was like, can I see it again? That's why movies are
Right.
made.
Yeah,
Like,
really.
immediately, I became a child that didn't know how to use words correctly. It's inspiring shit. Like for me personally, like it's just I've been so lazy lately in terms of wanting to create a story and write write a script and all this stuff for a short film I'm working on. And I don't know, man. Edgar Wright just brings it out of me. I rewatched Scott Pilgrim like a week ago, not even a week ago, and just to kind of get refresher on Edgar Wright's style. So Baby Driver wouldn't be so abrupt to me. Like, what the fuck is happening? But even then, he goes outside of his style a little bit for these action sequences. And these characters just feel very different than anything he's done before.
Yeah. What a flawless movie like Scott Pilgrim is.
Dude,
like,
yes.
Totally.
5 stars from me. I'm gonna be honest.
That movie is so fucking immaculate. Like, it pains me when people are like, "Yeah, I just didn't get into it." I'm like, "What?"
Well, you have people that are going to judge it against the source material a lot and not appreciate it for the stylistic nature that it is. And I had no knowledge of the source material going into that movie.
Yeah, I didn't bring in any of that baggage.
I'm kind of glad because I get it. If you've read all that stuff and you see Michael Cera is a
he's a turnoff for some people.
People have already formed their opinions of him going into that movie, and they were like,
He's so different. He's so different in that movie. He's a cocky little shit in that movie, which is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. The dudes in this movie are assholes, all of them. Even Scott Pilgrim, like
And Elizabeth Mary Winstead is she is the girl that everyone would be fighting over.
Totally.
It's believable. It's not like when you're watching. It's not when you're watching True Blood, and I'm like, really? Yeah, everyone's fighting over Suki. Okay, that's fine. This I buy it. I'm like, no, I'm invested in this. Like,
Poor Anna Paquin. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'll pick up a sword and Paquin burn. I'll pick up a sword and fight for Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna go be friends with Captain America and Bad Superman and fight this motherfucker. Like,
dude. Spoiler alert on a 7-year-old movie, but I love at the end when he goes, "I'm fighting you for me," and when he gets the sword of self-respect, everybody just kind of goes, "Okay." Like, it's just so genius. It's important to that character, but nobody else. Like, who fucking cares about your self-respect?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that movie, dude. It takes several watches, and there's people that I've heard in the mainstream call it just a gimmick, but I think it's so much more than that. It is absolutely
I agree.
Immaculate.
I think
top
it's
40 material.
It's
that movie.
stylized art for sure.
I think so too.
For me, top 40 material. Once I watched it, I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna make my list."
It's a true story. It's Edgar Wright's best movie. Like,
that's how I feel.
Sorry. I paid $15 for that DVD back in the day. I didn't even bargain bin that at fucking Best Buy.
Day one, $25 or whatever.
One, done. Yeah.
But Baby Driver is a close second for me in terms of Edgar Wright's rankings. It's just, I don't know. There was so much in terms of the musicality of every movement and in the action sequences and stuff. And even when he's dancing around and stuff, and you have the dudes on the side of the road or like a siren kind of making noise that aligns with the song. There's just so much at play that it took so much work, and there's so much detail, and there's a lot of great funny moments in it, especially with Kevin Spacey and Jamie Foxx. They just make me fucking laugh. Louder than anybody in the theater. I think JD and I were like the only ones laughing in the theater. It felt weird.
No, dude, the funny thing is that the guy next to me was laughing his ass off, but he was getting nothing from the people to the left of him. So every time he laughed, he turned in our direction to see if I was going to be like, "Oh, dude, that's funny," with some random fucking guy. And no. So he was on our team, but I was like,
right,
because he asked me before the movie started. He goes, "What row is this?" And I just, like, naturally, as a nice person, I'm like, "It's row D." But I want to be like, "Look at your fucking feet, douchebag. It's on the carpet."
I need my hand held.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't stand people that can't
laid up the
shit
carpet for a reason.
Either way.
Right.
Yeah.
Either way's fine. Either way. Great movie,
it's
though.
after row Z because that's the alphabet.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's where Baby Driver ranks for me. Where does it rank? Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, and then The World's End is probably after that. But where does it rank for everybody else?
Dose. Solid.
God, I really like Baby Driver, but Hot Fuzz I love action movies and like the spoof on action movies and everything. Give it a second, but Baby Driver is like it would be right there at 3, but almost at 2, but Hot Fuzz just kind of tips in its own favor for me.
Hot Fuzz would be my 3. So I agree.
Yeah, that's my 3.
Interchangeable, maybe depending on the mood.
Then Shaun of the Dead, then At World's End.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love Shaun of the Dead too. I did rewatch that.
And I like At World's End a lot. Like for it to be like last just means that like his quote unquote worst movie is better than most people's best movie.
It is,
Absolutely.
yeah. It would probably
Absolutely.
be in my 10 or if not that honorable mentions for that year. Because 2013, well, there's not a lot going on in that year, so never mind.
There
It would
wasn't.
probably be my 10.
Yeah, it was in my 10. Yeah.
Right. So moving along to the finals, though, this is the matchup that I think we've all been dreading. 100%. This is Mad Max on the Road of the Furious. Road of the Furious. Oh, that's funny. Versus a Reloaded Matrix. So in this one, JD is first. Kyle's last. Poor fucking Kyle.
Okay.
What?
Okay. Well, I mean, I really, really, really want to fight for the Matrix ridiculously hard in this one because I appreciate every little bit of effort that they put into making that and making it an enjoyable scene. And you know, I've only seen Mad Max twice, I think, and one
What
time.
the fuck? What's going on?
Well, I didn't see it in theaters, so I had to wait until it came out.
Yeah,
No,
that
Dude,
sucks.
Kyle,
I feel
Kyle,
so bad
I've-
for you.
I have seen more movies in theaters this year than I've seen in the previous 5 combined. I was
Thanks
so
to the podcast,
behind
yeah.
the curve. Well, thanks to the podcast,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and thanks to a raise. All right,
Well,
thanks,
Jeff-
Chad.
Thanks
Jeff
for that
has had an
bang.
effect on you too.
Um,
Ever since
but-
I've been talking to Jeff again, I'm like, oh, wow, I see
Yeah.
like, a lot of movies every year now.
And it's one of those things I've never felt the need because I'm like, I'll just get it in 3 months when it comes out on Redbox, or I'll just do this, do that. I mean,
Sure.
it's
You get in that
when
habit.
when you're so behind the curve, it doesn't matter if the movie's 6 months old. It's new to you. It's like buying a used car.
I agree with
So
that.
I just got stuck in that cycle. But if I had seen it in theaters, I think I definitely would have a bigger appreciation for it. I've watched it on my little piddly 42-inch 10-year-old HD TV at home, but I was still blown away, and I think that speaks to the spectacle of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a better movie overall than The Matrix Reloaded, for me personally, and because the
How
entire
dare
fucking
you.
movie. Well,
How dare
I'm
you?
Get out.
I'm not
Do
saying.
you have any idea what our podcast used to be called?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but there's this one now, and it's the champions, and we got to fight it out. I'm gonna go with Fury Road simply because of like we touched on in the previous round. It's the culmination of all of these movies' efforts over the years, from Seed 16 all the way to 2. This movie wouldn't have happened the way that it happened without everything that's happened before it. So,
Okay.
I'm gonna put it into the winners bracket. You guys figure it the fuck out.
All right. Well, I'm next, and I don't like my life right now. That's just how I feel. The wine is like wearing off, and now I'm just like, I just don't even want to do this anymore. So I'm gonna have to go with Fury Road. Sorry, everybody in America. That's my high-pitched apology. It's just, I mean, I love Reloaded, and I could not stress that enough. I mean, from the other side of the bracket where it beat pretty much everything, even Ronin, which is a tough fight.
Yeah.
But Fury Road, though, it's not the fact that the whole movie is a car chase, even though we use that argument a lot, since we started doing the top 10, we said that all the time.
Yeah.
But it's everything that's in the car chases. You know what I mean? There's things that are happening that you don't catch the first time you watch it,
The musical
second time.
elements.
Oh yeah. Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL's combination of noises.
Yeah.
That's not the right word.
I mean, that's a simplistic way to
of all
say
them
it, but it's
pitches.
not inaccurate.
right, but
at
you
all.
hear
That's
you
what it
hear
is.
Hans Zimmer's pulsing drums, tribal drum sounds combined with Junkie XL's affinity for rock music and stuff. And Hans Zimmer, of course, used to be in Oingo Boingo, so I mean, there's that rock element there too from him, and he it's just a perfect collaboration for them. There's a lot added to that. I mean, there's more flavor in Fury Road. Color-wise, it's practical, when possible, with the exception of the sandstorm. Everything is, and the colorization. The colorization is kind of done post, but still, everything is pretty much done in a desert. Everybody's miserable. All the cars were real. Everything you see happened. You know what I mean? It's all the little explosions that happen in the background. I mean, they happened. When a car
So
crashes.
it's not like 9/11.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's just being stupid.
Okay, loose change, get out of here. The car crash. Whenever a car crashes and there's an explosion and it's the color is very accentuated. The explosion happened. It's very real, but the color they did some edits to it to make it kind of pop off the screen. That's George Miller's style in this movie. But yeah, I have to go Fury Road, man. It's just bigger the entire movie. They Reloaded built a highway, sure, but Fury Road rented out an entire desert. So
I like that. I like that. Sounds like a country song.
Renting out a desert when you
Rented
built a highway.
out a whole desert to build you a highway.
Yeah, see, there you go. Let's fucking go platinum with this shit, boys. Let's do this. Kyle, what can you play?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, where would you have gone?
The harmonica. I was honestly going to go The Matrix at first, just because if we're talking singular moment, like if you had to cut up, moments of like Mad Max and just take singular moments and verse it against singular moment of the chase sequence in Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Reloaded wins for me.
Okay.
But the amount of spectacle that's going on screen in the Mad Max, I would say equals, if not exceeds, what's going on in that sequence of Matrix Reloaded, and it's real.
Yeah,
they really did all that.
That's fucking nuts.
So
in 2016 or 15, especially.
Yeah, it's just amazing. So like to be able to match the spectacle of the Matrix Reloaded highway scene, and maybe even debatably exceed it, and do it in real life with real cars and real desert and real explosions and all that stuff. That's amazing to me. It is the culmination of every single, chase sequence we've ever seen.
Which is a great argument, by the way. That's a brilliant point.
It really is. So, Mad Max, I think, was a lock. I think it was always going to be. Mad Max.
The least suspenseful, one of the least suspenseful brackets we've done besides most anticipated summer movies.
Hey, you know what? We're here for the conversation.
Right,
yeah, exactly. I think it's good to talk through all this stuff because, it is very important. And we went full circle. We had Bullet versus Fury Road. Yeah. Fucking, that's... Who's ever going to talk about that?
Right.
That's the spectrum.
Both carved their legacy into the car chase, if you want to call it that, community.
Yeah, exactly. The car chase community.
Yeah, whatever
we're there.
You want to call it.
We've made it.
Right.
We started from the bottom, and now we're here. What's the Flight of the Conchords? It's like Flight of the Conchords line. It's like we started at the bottom, and now we're still slightly less higher. I can't remember the exact quote, but that's
I thought you were going for
now.
Drake. I thought you were going for Star for the
No, that's the opposite. No, we're cinematic on this one. We're not Drake.
We're not. We're an anti-Drake podcast.
Anti-Drake podcast.
All right, so now we got to end things because I got to go to a movie and JD's got some shit to do. So you can find me at Jeff Whitty, Widdy, on Twitter, and Horror Geek Life. I'm still working up my Bad Batch review, and it comes at night, which is so challenging to write those reviews for those movies because they're loaded.
I bet.
And also my Oak Cliff Film Festival review from like last month. So stay tuned, I guess. So Kyle, where can people find you?
You can find me over at sub-culture.com or the same Twitch channel, of the same name. I'm Twitching, streaming every Wednesday, so come pop into there.
Dark Souls
and,
for now, right?
Yeah, Dark Souls for now. Probably something different next week. You can go back and watch those videos, though. And I think we're almost streaming every night now, so go over there and check out our channel.
Sweet. JD, how you doing?
Man, you guys can find me in the bathroom because I got to piss like a motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
So.
Woo! All right, cool. Man, are you dancing around like last week, or...?
I am so dancing around right now. I'm like Baby Driver in this shit
cool.
in my bedroom.
We're talking about something else for half an hour. So,
yeah, right. Waterfall. What's your favorite waterfall?
Oh, my favorite waterfall is the one that's happening in my pants right now because it's so warm. It feels so good.
Hey, JD, picture when somebody drinks from a water fountain. Picture the actual fountain part. I just want you to do
that. Man, that's really great. Hey, picture me putting these headphones down on my desk and ignoring everything you guys say for the next 30 seconds.
All right, so that's it for Entertournament and Champions podcast and a high pitch.
Laters.